Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Culture episode 195 of On the Backs of Gods. We're getting close to that 200, baby. I am your DM, Jillian, and we have our players here today. Same as always. We have Kyle, Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. I'm going to go ahead and jump into a recap so we can get back into things. The party is currently on the tail of some world ending pro world ending cultists and have tracked two of them to another realm, which is referred to as Soppelheim or the Trash, as part of it resembles Midgard, like a mirror, like a twisted mirror of it. And after getting the team back together, after being split for a bit, you travel into the woods, open a portal, step in, and Nyx immediately begins to scry to try and locate Sunny, which is one of the cultists they're looking for. Uh, the rest of you are immediately ambushed by what could only be a swarm of pixies that change your form into multiple different animals and change other animals into bigger animals and drop them from the sky and make you think that you're on fire and make you think that the bowl of water you are scrying in is broken and stabbing you. But Nyx is able to keep her concentration. The pixies are held at bay, not seeming to be too interested in like attacking, but are easily upset and a little mischievous. And eventually, after you are able to locate Sunny, you see her booking it through the woods. You get up, open a tree door, all of you rush in, and as the door closes, you watch as one pixie immediately begins to dive bomb towards the tuning fork that is your only way back home. As the tree closes behind you, and you encounter Sunny, and then you encounter two T-Rex that are immediately just they're in the fight, I guess. They're there. But it's kind of like everybody's like, fuck these T-Rexes. Um, and you begin your combat with Sunny, two T-Rexes, and the other cultist, Alvilda, a powerful druid who encircles Keld and Sunny in a wall of fire so that they can duel and everybody will stop dogpiling on Sunny. Um, people catch on fire, people get entangled in vines. Alvilda talks to the wind and eventually concedes to its request, uh, drops the firewall, and sends Sunny away, opening a portal through a tree and pushing her through, and is then immediately engulfed by the earth around her, becoming an giant of rock and dirt and trees that have been pulled up with it. At this time, Roshan can hear two sensations, one of them asking to help by healing and giving support, and the other one asking to destroy. And so, of course, Roshan picks the destroy one, and then immediately goes, oops. Like the second he does it, he's like, wait, hold on, take
Oh
back
no, the
seat.
ocelot's eating my face!
Oh no, I made a mistake. But then is like immediately wrapped up by a vine and like stuck behind a tree, so he can't even see what his choice did. As a shadow of smoke and ember tears itself away from Roshan, with it his warlock powers, and immediately goes to Nana, engulfs her in smoke, a tall feminine entity with three wounds in the chest that like bleed fire. And the intent is to destroy the enemy. And that is what it does quite efficiently. But also with casualties, as Keld and Nyx just get bombarded by fire that just splashes off of this earth elemental, taking Keld down, I think, twice, getting knocked unconscious twice by friendly fire. Um, but eventually, this creature of smoke and flame is able to fell this mass of vines and mud, and it is alight and begins to unravel as it is pushed into the dirt. And Alvilda just sort of tumbles unconscious out of the creature and hits onto the ground, failing her first death saving throw. This is what the chaos is before you. You have the mass of dirt before you that was once the shield around Alvilda, no longer moving. And with that, all of the vines slacken. Roshan, you feel it loosen around your body, and you are now able to move again. Um, you can see around you that there are multiple trees that are beginning to catch and are picking up steam in the sense of burning aggressively. Lucky for you, it is not like dead and dry here. So it is not the easiest catch, but it seems that this fire burns so intensely that it is indeed catching. Um, just like start the like grass around this entity of flame is just like curling and burning away. Um, Keld and Nyx stand charred next to a flaming visage that engulfs Nana. You can see where the three fiery wounds were have now been given permission, per se, have fully ripped open, and an entity that was mostly smoke and ember is now entirely flame. You can see some smoke burning up and away from its face around this feminine form, and it is growing larger as it begins to unhunch and stretch and move. Um, uh, you can see that the entity is taking in its surroundings, is looking around, and it is just a big smile that twists up, flames that wreath the mouth and grow up and around the head, um, takes in the space. And then eyes turn to Alvilda, who is laying on the ground, near motionless, just like choking on her own blood at this moment. Um, so, Nana, we just finished your turn in initiative.
Yes.
We will continue as is.
Good.
If you have nothing you'd like to do, that is fine. But currently, you see before you an entity intent on continuing something. You don't know what, but the world is her fiery oyster. Am I right, boys? Um, Keld, you are up. Fen, you are on deck, followed by Roshan and Nyx. Then it'll be Alvilda's turn, and then Nana and the Flame will get to go again.
I think Keld's attention is split between three things. So he's going to look for Nyx. What does he see?
She doesn't look good. I think we said that she definitely has at least a broken rib and looks like she'd probably collapse with the slightest touch at the moment.
Mm,
And
what if
is
it was a healing touch?
has much char to the form, just as you do. I'm pretty sure you used all your lay on hands,
I
correct?
did, but I have cure wounds.
That's true. If you'd like to use your turn to use cure wounds, you are welcome to.
I am going to do that.
Okay.
Um, Apologies, it's just going to be a level 1. 12 health back to Nyx.
It's not bad.
And how close are we to the flaming
Right in
monstrosity?
front of you. It is literally right in front of you. Growing and looming.
Scary. I think.
Yeah, I'll say that like it's in front of you, and Alvilda's kind of like on the opposite side of you. Like you guys, you're just
So
right
am
in
I
the thick
kind
of
of
it.
like in between them?
Yes, at this moment, you're vaguely in between the two.
Okay. That's kind of where I want to be right now, even if that's dangerous. So I'm going to stay where I am.
Sorry, I just loved Josh's range of emotion. Do that. Oh, ah.
I'm just kombucha girling over here.
Oh,
Yeah.
mm,
Mhm.
mm. Okay, Keld, is there anything else you'd like to do? Okay, that's your turn. Fen, you're up. Roshan, you're on deck.
So Fen looks a little panicked right now. He doesn't see Nana. He sees that two of his friends are in not as optimal fighting condition as they typically are. Um, Roshan, he's got an idea where Roshan is, but he doesn't know what condition he's in. He knows that they came to this dimension to do a thing. And if we're all going to die, at least we're going to get some of that done. He's going to do something very uncharacteristic. He's going to pull out his kukri and he's going to go finish Elvilda. He's
Okay,
just going to put an end to it. Like, we accomplished a thing. He's hesitated enough. Let's get this one thing done.
okay. You make your way over. You can go ahead and make an attack with advantage. Uh, a cultist full of information, yet a very powerful druid and a possible flight risk. But once again, incredibly full of information. If you could even get her to talk, you run over, make your attacks. Make your attack.
A
Be
22 to hit.
easier to speak with dead, honestly.
You don't have that.
If we
All
had.
right. That is 2 failed death saves. She no longer chokes on her own blood, and it spills from her neck.
Fenn's gonna turn around and he's gonna look up at the big flaming monster and try to ascertain what its next move might be. And he has no more actions, nothing more he can do at this point. So he's just gonna stand there and prepare to continue to fight if that's what happens.
Go ahead and roll insight for me.
Sorry, it's been 2 weeks now. I got to remember what all my stuff does. 15.
You can see that like this thing was hyper focused on Alvilda. Now that's no longer a focus. The world is a focus. The vision opens up. The sight is no longer down. It is everything. Roshan, it's your turn. Nyx, you're on deck.
So the vines slacken on Roshan, and he steps out from behind the tree and sees the consequences of his decisions. And I think taking it all in, he's going to shout up at Nana and say, Nana, fire! Get yourself under control and cast suggestion.
Ooh.
So one of them
Interesting.
needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Nana, make a wisdom saving throw.
I will do so. Oh my god, wow, are you lucky that my shit rolls have suddenly come back into play? That is a 2 on the dice plus 4.
That certainly fails. You must attempt to make that action, however you see fit. And now, after this saving throw has failed, Roshan will add in bardic inspiration for you.
For moi.
Yeah. So if you
That
need
is
to
a,
roll
remind me
to
again, D8?
get it under control, yeah, you got a
Mm.
D8.
Okay.
Just please don't use it against our friends or
We'll
the
see what
world.
happens. I hope not. We'll see. I don't know what's
And
coming.
I think Roshan is just like putting up hands, like, calm yourself.
Okay. Nyx, you're up.
Yeah, she's gonna try to go towards Alvilda and away from the fire because she's almost dead.
Yeah, you can make your way over to where Alvilda is. The entity does not make an attack against you as you move away.
All she's gonna do is start heading that way. She does not want to get hit by this fire again. And be done.
Okay. Anything else?
No, just get away from it.
Okay. No death saving rolls necessary from me. And we are back to Nana's turn and the flame. Now, suggestion can only hit one thing. Okay.
Yes.
And we rolled Nana's stats, which would have been the roll anyways. So we are focusing on that hit Nana. And what was the wording of your suggestion?
Get it
Or
under
vaguely?
control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get it under
Uh,
control or get yourself under control, something like that.
and in some facet, get under control, which now you must do. That is the suggestion. That is what need happen at this moment.
Okay.
I'm going to say, so this is just me pinning down some scenario type things. Nana, in this moment, sorry, I have to
Mm.
spray my son with water.
My son is being
No.
mad.
I thought you were putting out the entity. Damn.
Spritz, you did it.
Golding,
Hooray!
no, bad Golding.
So Nana, in this moment, you immediately get it together. You're like, I am now calm. I am getting it together.
Okay.
I am getting it,
I'm
just
fine.
pulling it all in,
Yeah.
focusing up.
Okay. All right.
You
I can do that.
see Alvilda dead on the ground. Uh, Fen fully stabbing her in the neck.
Okay.
You see Nyx moving away, looking terrible, gripping at her side, clothes charred. Keld standing between you and the rest of the party, burns on his body, barely standing. You see Roshan in the back, hands up, asking you to stop. And the entity does not want to. Yeah, Alvilda's dead. But there's so much more that could be possibly done here. And you feel that the thing around you doesn't want to stop when there is so much power to be gained. And in this
I mean,
moment,
if nothing else, Nana is reminded that one of the two did get away. Sunny
that's
is
true.
not accounted for.
She's not, and the only person who knew where she was is dead. So that's, I lost information to you. 1 second. So here's the thing. Looking at the scene, Nana, do you want the entity to stop?
I think so only because with Alvilda dead, we absolutely don't have a direct line to Sunny, which is going to mean we're going to need to find her, which clear cutting our way through by fire is going to tip them off and make them run. So I think Nana is going to make an attempt to plea with the fire to forestall, to hold the fire. We don't have to tamp it out. We don't have to extinguish. We don't have to go quietly. We need to bring this fire to where it is needed the most and not cause our goal to flee ahead of us, away from where we can possibly follow. We both want this. We both want Sunny dead, Bosch dead, right?
Okay. Because you are in this moment, also bolstered by magic, and it is a want of yours, I'm going to give you advantage on your persuasion check.
Okay. All right.
You can
Alrighty.
also add your doodad to that. You also have a bardic inspiration.
I am probably going to go ahead and tag on the Bardic and also my thingamathing. Superiority, what's it? Commanding presence, the thing.
Hmm.
Right, that's going to add a d10 and then Roshan's d8. Okay, plus advantage. Away we go. All right, okay. Okay, all right. That one. Okay. Better roll is 17 plus 3 plus 5, 25. Plus another 5 for my persuasion, 30.
Okay. The DC was 25. To make what you assume is God stop what they are doing, yeah, that's
Yeah,
not an easy thing to do.
no, yeah.
And this entity, you can see like the shoulders like buckle a bit, almost as if like something has like forced it down a little as it tries to like push itself back up. And it opens its mouth and fire just like licks over its face past its eyes. I am the radiance of gold, and it is just burning. Nana, you can now feel the fire starting to bend inwards where it was not affecting you. Now you are beginning to feel heat. Um,
Is that affected at all by my chill shield?
it is not hurting you at this time.
Okay.
You're not taking damage, but this is the first time you feel like I am standing too close to a
Mhm.
fire.
Yeah. I understand. I don't disagree. I don't wish to defy. I only wish to beg for timing. That's all.
And it is a growl, more like wolf than woman, as a hand hits into the ground and claws at the dirt. Thrice they suffered me, and thrice they will be consumed. And this entity is pulled down, crushed inwards, and is in this moment diminished. You are surrounded by a slowly beginning forest fire. You are out of initiative. What would you guys like to do?
Is Nana now outside of the entity or is she still part of it?
The entity is gone.
It is gone. Okay.
Yes, the entity is now gone.
Okay.
How's Nana looking?
Oh, well, I'm assuming without that temp HP.
The temp HP is gone, yes.
Yep, temp HP being gone, very bad. Much below bloodied.
Okay. Seeing his friend reappear from a fiery mass, Fenn's gonna run over and use the second level spell slot that's tucked away in his little pearl to cast Cure Wounds on Nana.
Okay. What are other people doing? We're not in initiative, but I am thinking about this vaguely in a combat-ish sort of way.
Because of the fire.
Because of the fire, and also it's like people don't like people started a conversation and somebody's like, and then I did this thing, and I'm like, that happened 5 minutes ago. Cool.
Roshan, who had already uncapped his water skin and was going to starts spritzing at Fire Nana if she didn't listen. Um, and instead starts waterbending it to start putting out some forest fire.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Keld's wishing he had something that could help with that, but he does not. So he's going to check on Nyx.
Yeah, Nyx is heading over to Elvilda to cast Gentle Repose, just in case anyone wants to change their mind about killing her.
Okay.
I will turn off my minute timer.
Hmm.
Okay. Nyx does that, and in my mind, Nyx at this point, do you join in on the fire problem?
Yeah, after Elvilda is no longer dying, I'll use my one create water to help with the fire.
Okay. Um. Okay, so that's two people who I feel like have put out so many trees that I've just been like, and then it's on fire.
No.
So many forest fires.
Okay, at this moment, I will now open it up as it is going to take time as Nyx and Roshan are like, we have a lot of fire to deal with, but
Mm.
give us a minute. So they start doing that. Is there anything else you guys would like to do in the meantime?
How much do I heal?
11.
I thank you. I don't know. I think Nana is just sort of like doing an inventory on what just happened mentally, and on the fallout and what still needs to be done next. I think she's quiet and withdrawn.
Keld feels an intense burst of stunning energy as the haste fades and spends
Oh, no.
6 seconds
Oh no.
locked up.
Oh no.
And
Where's
then
my
I think
haste?
Roshan, putting out some fires with Nyx, says, where's Sunny's body?
She got away.
It's fucking stuck behind a tree.
I was burning alive. So we could trade next time.
It's fair.
And then goes back to waterbending in the other direction.
You know, that's
Moves
an even
away.
trade. I'll take that.
Okay. Is it just like everybody taking stock of just themselves and the situation until the fire is quelled?
Yeah, Fenn's out of spell slots, but he's going to tend to Nana and Keld, who look to be in probably the worst condition, and like they put conventional bandages on them. Like, you know, he has a healer's kit, so it's not going to fix anything. But like if they're
Mm.
actively bleeding, maybe it stops some of that.
I do have a cure wounds that I can make use of if Keld is really in a bad way.
Keld has some means of healing, so he'll probably just tend to himself.
Okay. All right. So long as you're kosher. How's Fen looking?
Fen looks fine.
Okay.
We could also take a short rest to heal some of this with hit dice in a bit.
Might not be a bad idea. That's a good point. Once we get the fire dealt with and figure out what our next plan of attack is, it might be a good idea for us to at least replenish what we can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As that as we were putting out the fires, I think Roshan gets close to Nyx again and asks, how much could you get us out of here again today, or?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
I've got barely anything left.
I think...
Plus, we don't.
I think
exactly have the key to leave here.
Are we
yeah,
able to get back to the key today?
No.
All right then.
okay. Um well then um Roshan reaches in his pocket and feels the worry stone, and um, he says, "When we get these fires put out, I'll make us somewhere safe we can rest." And tries to
Prob-
finish up.
we'll probably want to bring Elvilda into. I don't know if we want to bring her back to ask her where she sent Sunny, but I made it so we could if we want to. We probably don't want to leave her outside.
What's the plan after we resurrect her? Do we
If.
just question her and then kill her again?
There's not a chance she helps us. I
I
don't
Seems
I'm
know
worried
fair.
I
why.
about
think
that too,
that's
but
I think that's incredibly grim. But if we were to, I hate to say we only need to keep her head, but if we could find a cleric, um, someone to cast Speak with Dead, perhaps one of us could disguise ourselves as Sunny to get information.
That would necessitate us getting. This is assuming that Sunny has not been sent somewhere else here and is going to still be remaining here. Or God's
Well,
knows where else.
I think more
I think,
pressing questions might be what they did or if they were successful.
What were they after here? I think is significantly more important if we cannot find Sunny and ask her ourselves.
Sunny must be here, no? Is she moved her through a tree the way they always move, but she must be in this route. There was no fork involved. They didn't have to
That's true.
discuss with a. I don't know. I'm not the expert on this. I didn't even speak to the author of that book.
I think
But
that's
she
a good
must be
point, Finn.
here in this realm, no?
I think there's a good chance she is here, but I don't think Bosch made a point of bringing those trees to our realm without a secondary purpose of being able to use them in cases like this. So I think once Nyx feels well enough, we should try scrying again, uh, and we can make plans from there.
My thought is they were running for their lives from those creatures, and if they could have stepped through a tree at any time and been home, we've either interrupted what they needed to do here or made them abandon it, or they were never able to leave this realm to begin with through that method.
I'll be able to scry again
That's
tomorrow. So
I suppose in the meantime, the question is what's the best place for us to make camp? Is it here or is it back with the key? Try and.
We don't know where back with the key is. We came through a tree.
We
How can
can't
we
get
find
there
a?
yet.
How can we might be 1,000 leagues away.
we
So
can
wait.
perhaps when Nyx has magic again, we can go back tomorrow.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
but I think we should first figure out how to deal with Sunny, if she's still here or not. And then, is the fire out enough?
You did out enough. Yeah, I'd say you guys take a few more minutes and are able to put out this fire. This area looks destroyed. The ground is torn up and sunken in places. There are two steaming piles of T-Rex corpse. There is a dead woman on the ground. There are multiple charred trees and paths through the grass. Smoke is still rising into the air. But besides that,
It's like paradise.
Yeah.
yeah, besides that, this place is pretty cool.
One
Great.
thing. One thing. Did any of you hear from Arthur Friend whether or not things corrupt after death here?
It's not something I thought to ask.
That did not come up.
Shelvedira talked about it.
Hmm.
As a reminder, because it's been a hot minute,
It has been.
Shelvedira explained that corruption is. He said there's no corruption here, but then kind of went back on that and said there is corruption, but it is different and it is not the same. It is not as like violent and terrible. There is still change when something dies and is connected to the earth, but it is not the horrors that is Midgard. It is nothing like that.
I retract what I say. I
Hmm.
think
Just
think
kidding,
the
haha.
corruption
Oh, really?
is just part of the natural cycle here. When things die, they become something else.
Okay, like back
Perhaps
home. Are they going to climb back up and take a bite out of us while we're resting, or what?
more like when they die, they become a tree, for example, or a flower, or something new. It's less outright bad.
Less
So I
outright
think
hungry, at least.
we can hope. But perhaps we should make our way away from them,
Mhm.
and this conspicuously burned area just in case.
Yeah, I don't think it would be wise for us to be anywhere close to here. It's going to advertise to anything and everything that knows the area for miles around.
Jillian.
But I think
Hmm?
Sorry, go ahead, Josh. If you were going to continue, that's fine.
I think if we make just a ways away, I believe, and Roshan holds up the worry stone in his hand, says, I believe this should keep us from prying eyes, if it works.
The Worry Stone?
It's hard to explain, but if can somebody? I hate to ask, can somebody carry Alvilda, because I cannot. We could put her in the bag of hope. Maybe might have to break her arms to do that.
Killed will pick her up.
It's,
I think that's better. I'd much prefer that. We can wrap her in a blanket. It'll be fine.
and then Roshan will look to a ranger or both and say, well, which way is the best option?
I don't know. Did Nana get a good vantage point on any interesting looking paths away from here when she was real tall?
You weren't real tall. You were still on the ground. Sorry, you were just.
How
still on
tall
the
was
ground.
I? I was a tall woman.
Well, there was a tall woman around you. The
Fair.
dream, but nonetheless, just around you.
Also a dream.
Kyle, what's your question?
Do your dinosaurs have feathers?
Well,
Not anymore, they're
sadly,
all burnt
they were
off.
set ablaze, and you'll never know.
We'll never know.
They're just like burnt with
Singed.
acid breath and like set ablaze, and it's like we'll never know. It's
They're
just
piles of meat.
charred flesh and bone.
Teeny
Cool.
little
Unfortunately, lost to
arms.
time.
Fenn's going to take some T-Rex teeth before they roll out of here.
You're welcome to take some T-Rex, Steve.
Yeah.
Where are the Rangers leading the team?
I would assume towards like some kind of safety. I
Yeah,
don't know
can we
what kind of
hear-
markers for safety we can use in this realm.
Can we
You're
hear
just
water?
in a
Running
forest.
water?
Both of you can go ahead and give me perception checks.
Is this way too far from our home to be our favorite terrain?
I would say this isn't your favorite terrain anymore.
Heck.
It's similar, but just not the same.
16.
Well, it's a 13 on the dice plus 14 is
Wow.
27.
Okay. How about both of you roll me a luck check?
18.
I am not as lucky. I have a 9. I'm half as lucky as Nana.
How did that happen? That's not usually the case at all.
Yeah, if you want to hear water, you hear water.
All right. Yeah, I think Nana will probably point in the direction of a stream she can hear running. Yeah. I would assume that's probably our best bet, at least to find a clearing, probably somewhere we can set up something defensible.
You guys start leading the group forwards, leaving behind basically the large signal fire that was created in that area. But you begin making your way through. Not a lot of animals that you see. Maybe
Might
it's
have got scared
because
off by the T-Rexes and the fire.
it could have been because of the fire and the 2 T-Rexes that were hunting in the area. It is a very high likelihood that maybe
There was
at
also
the
a
moment
titan bursting
has
up out of the
cleared the
earth. That was
area.
a lot of shaking. I don't know. There'd be a lot of disturbances to the local wildlife considering all the recent happenings.
So basically, with that luck check, Rangers, you can tell me what sort of area you are looking for, and within reason, you may have it.
Yeah, I was thinking something high enough to not flood, just in case there's flash floods in the area, but near enough to fresh water that we have something to drink if we need to, if we're stuck here, and maybe just a little small clearing on the edge of a copse of wood.
Sounds right to me.
It's yours. Enjoy.
Aha! We've found it. It's beautiful. It is picturesque.
Requests anyone? Do you want to add anything else?
Yeah, what do you guys want?
Hardwood
Yeah.
floors.
Ooh,
Guys
ooh,
want
nice
I could
brown
use a hot
molding.
tub.
rings? I can give you onion rings if you want.
Ooh, bloomin' onions?
Can you put us next to the
Ooh.
onion ring bush?
No, and
Yeah, I'm
there's
sure
one
that
onion ring
exists.
bush. Yeah, now it does.
That's
You're
perfect.
Oh
welcome.
my god.
You're at the onion ring bush.
Wow.
It is a bush. It has onions on it. You're
Manna from
welcome. It's
heaven.
real now.
Hooray!
I hope you're all happy.
I am. That's a vegetable. There.
Actually,
That
sounds
works.
delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys set up in your beautiful picturesque spot next to the plethora of onion
Onion ring
bushes.
bush.
They smell bad, but nonetheless bountiful. And Keld, you carry the corpse of a cultist. You are able to, if you'd like, you're able to like scoop up her staff and like the bag she had on herself and like haul it up and carry her off.
Obviously, if Keld needs help carrying anything else. It's an option.
But you guys are at your beautiful clearing with the onion bushes and the running water. What are we doing?
Roshan will pull out the worry stone and he kind of looks for an area between 2 kind of close-ish trees, big enough for a doorway, and will start casting a minute-long spell if anyone has anything they want to do before he's done.
It's interesting. I don't think Nana will interrupt. I think she might kind of watch
just
from the side
observing.
while she's like setting up general camp stuff. You know.
Slaps the stone out of his hand.
Boo!
Stop
Stop it!
In this time, Nana, you set your things on the ground. Basically, is like a minute
Yeah.
of time.
Yeah, it's a
Roshan,
minute.
tell us
Yeah.
what happens.
So Roshan stands with the worry stone held in both hands, muttering to himself. As he does, a facsimile of the stone begins to appear in front of him. It grows until it is almost double Roshan's size, almost 10 feet tall, and pieces twist and separate almost like cells dividing into a brick arch around the frame of the door. Like liquid, the light of the night the light of the sky bends down and becomes dark like night and separates like a drop of liquid and forms the keystone of the arch. Finally, lights course along the door, leaving black tracings in the shape of Roshan's thumbprints, and a doorknob appears.
What? I was expecting the bubble. This is different.
Uh,
Where
yeah,
does this lead to?
well, he's still nervous because this is the first time that he's done it, and he says, um, hopefully it leads to somewhere more comfortable for than the bubble. Um, and I think he stands kind of frozen there and shakily asks, "Does anyone want to do the honors?"
Your hesitancy is making me a little concerned, but
Nana walks in.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Nana, you open the door, and the entry room looks a lot like the tiny hut everyone is used to, but a bit larger. It's a circular room, and at its center is a safe stone hearth, the same hand smooth stone as the door and floor. Smoke travels up from the hearth, and where it would previously pass through the magical dome, it passes up into a clear, dark night sky. Seemingly, the boundaries of this place fade from solid mist around the edges of the room into sky. A large weeping willow stands off to the right, with another one standing even further beyond. The space is a bit sparse, perhaps, with a small desk, a stack of bedrolls, and extra blankets. It smells strikingly like home when compared to the alien woods and burnt dinosaur we just came from, burning pine logs and a slight earthy petrichor. Two doors stand on the circular mist wall. One looks quite similar to the front door from Nix and Keld's home, while the other looks more akin to something one would find in Galunder. And a small stone path leads beyond the willows to a small outbuilding, uh, and you can smell fresh hay, and you assume there's just enough space for a single large horse.
Wow.
Um, well, uh, come in, everyone, and close the door behind you.
Yeah, come on in. Wow. Roshan, this is something to behold.
Where have we gone?
Um, that's a good question.
Is it a pocket like Fenn's rope trick?
I think, in essence, yes.
it feels a lot like home, though.
Smells like home. It's good.
I like it here, Roshan.
This is good. Thank
Thanks.
you, Roshan. Yeah.
He's
Um,
gonna start
uh,
opening doors.
Mm.
Yeah.
Has an armful of the onion bush.
She got
She'll
so
get
many
it
onion
outside.
rings.
Where should I put her?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh.
Before we go exploring, where
Is
do we
there a
put the
larder?
corpse?
Perhaps
larder?
under the tree.
Set her down under the
And
tree.
Nix, which of the two doors do you open first?
And she can guess what's behind the one that looks like it's her home, so she's gonna be nosy about the other one.
Mm.
She doesn't know what
Mhm.
it's like there.
Yeah, she's never
Yeah.
been.
Beyond the Gullunder door, there is a short hallway with a single door on either side. To the right, runes carve the name Nana into the door, and the other door is adorned with runes saying Fen.
That's so cool.
You forgot
Are
to
you
make
going
a
to
room for
explore their rooms?
yourself. Where's your room,
Is that just
Roshan?
here?
It's not in there.
Oh, well,
It's in
I've
our
got
side. Got it.
plenty of space out here.
Yeah, see if there's one on the other side for Roshan.
Yeah.
On the
Go
other
peek
side,
in the other
where?
door.
The other door, not the Nana
The
Oh, the
yeah.
other
doors.
door?
Yeah.
The other door lies beyond this door lies a faithful recreation of Keldon Nick's home. At least all of the parts Roshan had seen enough to recreate. The door to their parents' bedroom is firmly affixed to the wall,
Yeah.
Roshan having never
You
been
can
privy
try
to
the
what's
door.
inside.
It won't move.
Yeah. The kitchen is full of ingredients and cookware, some matching reality, while some gaps are filled with implements from Roshan's imagination. Keldon Nick's rooms are much the same as they exist in Dem Woods, though they have been subtly stretched and molded to increase the size of their bed. Now you can share it with a partner. And then the once dried up plants in Nick's room are now healthy and in full bloom.
Amazing.
She'll drag Keldon to show him everything.
He's just gonna look around.
Nana and Fen, you
impressed.
interested in your rooms?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fenn's looking around the outdoors right now, just like
Of course.
there's trees here. You made trees from nothing. Do they work like the trees on the outside? Will they bear fruit if they were the right type? Could Nyx open a doorway through one?
Hmm. That's a
I
good question.
don't think so. I
Mm.
You
think
could open it and go to the
they
other one across the way because it's in the same dimension. So you can go about a solid few
Yeah.
yards to the other tree.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
You can practice all day long. Use up those spell slots.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think I could bring fruit trees in, but I don't think they would grow outside of my understanding of how they grow. I don't think these are natural things, though it should nourish our bodies just the same.
Yeah, Fenn's just in awe. So he's vaguely following Roshan and Nana around on the little tour, but he's just like running his hands across the bark of the trees and like touching things. Just Fenn is blown away by this. He's never heard of or seen anything like this outside of maybe a storybook.
Yeah, this is pretty wild.
If you two let yourselves into your rooms on opposite sides of the hallway, Nana's room contains a big, comfortable bed and a wooden door on the same wall as the hallway that somehow leads to the stable.
Huh.
Quite unclear how they are connected because there should be more space between them. Fenn's room has a solid raised platform, cushioned but not plush, the better to meditate on. And there are surfaces to lay belongings in private washrooms beyond sliding doors. It gets stranger when you investigate the other door in your room, for the doors to your rooms lead away, and then you go even further, and there's doors that somehow lead to the same space. They lead away from each other, yet converge in a communal space for the Rangers, a shooting gallery filled with targets and hay bales. Weapons of every shape line the smooth walls, and there are 4 pristine practice dummies.
I am in awe.
Roshan, I'm astounded at how you managed to do this. When did you learn this magic? But also just the
When did you have time to
care
put all
and
this together?
attention to detail and I'm I'm as touched as I am impressed.
Um, well, it turns out when you put so much of your worry, your emotions into an object, it becomes easier to enchant.
Hmm.
And the time that we spent in the brushwood, I'm still not back to where I was, but
Yeah.
I think the time I spent after that working on this helped. And if you need anything, just ask the mist. Um, whatever you need should be delivered. There's about as much as I could think of. In fact, I don't. I think there is literally as much as I can think of out there. So, uh, if you need it, ask for it. And if you can't find it, then ask me, and perhaps next time we'll have it.
I'm amazed. I'm really amazed. I like, but just could I have a spear, please?
Um, and so if you are in your room, then
Uh-huh.
a spear will just kind of fling off the wall and
Just pop into
come
the
to
hand.
you.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, all right then. I think Nana does like a little twirl and launches the spear into one of the practice dummies. Um, I don't know. Meh.
Say it hits
Why not?
home. You don't even have to
Eh,
tell me unless it's
meh.
really good. Then you can tell me.
It wasn't really good. It was all right.
Okay.
It was. Eh.
It hits. It
It
doesn't
hits.
move. It's a dummy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Roshan, how long does this
um,
magic last? Is it like the bubble where it'll abandon us immediately once time has passed?
um, that's a good question. I'm not sure how long it will last. Um, so perhaps it's best to rest as soon as you're able. I think it should last longer than the bubble, but I'm I don't know everything about it yet.
Mm.
Just that I made it.
It's
Well,
astonishing.
yeah, honestly.
We'll
You've
have
done an incredible working here.
we'll have to find time to explore and enjoy it. But Roshan, you should join us in our rest.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will. And then Roshan will go out to the main circular room and make himself a cup of tea over the warm hearth.
Hmm.
Okay.
I think we can reconvene and get some rest in and so on.
Yeah. All of you
And
can take stock of. Oh, go ahead, Roshan.
I was just gonna say, it's basically still morning for us,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we woke up,
Yeah.
scried, uh, ran, fought, and now it's like 11 a.m.
Yeah.
God.
It's pretty early.
Oof. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Just a short rest, I guess, because I don't know. A long rest in the morning seems weird, but I guess if we
You
want to be back
we're
on the
doing the
road
24
sooner.
hour thing kind of vaguely, so I
Hmm.
wouldn't let you take a long rest at this time. Not an efficient
Hmm.
one.
Even on a
Okay.
Sunday?
Come
Dang.
on, Jillian.
Oh, go on,
It's
Yulin.
You've never
Sorry, it's
woken up and
always
been like,
Monday.
I'm going back to bed for 8 more hours.
I
But it
sure
doesn't
have.
help. It doesn't
Oh.
help. It doesn't make me feel
Oh.
bad.
I
Oh
beg to
no.
differ.
um,
Sounds like a skill
but
issue.
all of you are able to take in the space and explore your rooms. You can look in each other's rooms, whatever suits
Yeah.
your fancy. All of you can
Mm-mm.
reconvene for tea.
Yeah.
All of you are welcome to a short rest, while always perpetually in your periphery is Alvilda's motionless body,
Yeah.
yet peacefully sitting beneath the willow tree. And that is where we're going to take our break. Thank you
Our own
guys
short
for
rest.
being here. We're going to take a little 10-minute break. So go get a snack, an onion perhaps, and a drink, maybe also an onion, none of my business. And we'll be back in 10 minutes.
Thank you, 10.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 195 of On the Backs of Gods. We just took our 10-minute break. The party has entered a beautiful little pocket dimension of sorts in a makeshift home uh, made for each of you by Roshan uh, in this at the moment safe space because you're you're elsewhere. It's like the little pocket dimension that Fen can make, except you can have basically anything you want, and she's so big, and and you know what? Um, Definitely an upgrade from the bubble. The bubble, she's done her work. She truly put in the work for a really long time,
The
and
bubble
we love her
walked
for it.
so that this beautiful, mysterious, misty mansion could run.
Exactly. But all of you take your short rest. You have tea. What are people up to in this time? You have the whole day.
Yeah, we sure
Yeah,
do.
all day and all night.
I think that at least while everybody is here and while we're having tea and while we're having downtime, um, Nana does want to look Keldon Nix in the eye and say, I, I could not help but notice that the both of you wound up rather in the splash zone. I I don't understand very well what happened, but I didn't mean to hurt the two of you, and I am sorry.
I appreciate the apology. That was quite intense.
Um, it was very sudden. It was. I think it was the strongest I've ever felt.
Wow.
I felt like nothing could stop me.
Didn't seem like anything was going to stop you.
I don't think the fire wanted very much to stop. Um, Fires don't tend to want to, so I don't know that I can fault her for that. But I pleaded with her to at least allow us a chance to establish better timing so that we didn't scare off our prey.
Mm.
I don't know how well it worked. She still wasn't very happy, but here we are, so.
Does Roshan feel her presence or the presence of any of the other shadows?
Um, Go ahead and give me an insight check. Inciting oneself to incite another entity.
Um, Bastard 20.
Okay. There is still the sensation of like being very disconnected from the shadow in general. Um, but you can feel like sort of on the periphery, like when it's slowly starting to come back. Um, it's just her.
It's just her.
That's the only one you feel at the moment.
Uh, that sits like a ball of lead in his tummy. So he's going to cover that ball of lead in more tea.
Mm.
I mean, not for nothing, Nana is really curious about what all just happened, and I mean, at the very least, I think she is going to ask Roshan, did you know anything about what was going to happen with all that?
No. Um,
The other
I
shadows
had
were
an inkling.
forthcoming?
Um, well, it was a choice between her and I. I probably could have healed us instead. I'm not sure. Um, I hope whatever choice I made isn't final. Um, she's. I think it's clear now that what she is was a part of Gulveg, or at least part of something that thinks it's Gulveg, but it's it's only one part. It's her fire, it's her anger, it's her will to destroy, and it's dangerous. I think had you not been able to get it under control, I don't think I could have helped you anymore. Um,
Do you
thank you
think I shouldn't
for.
have asked you to do this?
No, I think things are okay.
Are you sure?
I guess Nyx, Nyx and Keld were hurt, but uh, everyone's still standing.
Yeah.
She seemed to get what she wanted, and then I, I, I don't know where it leaves us, but I don't think we're worse off than before. And Roshan, I don't know if he believes that because he really wants to feel the other shadows, and not just be left with her because she sucks.
I mean, she's
Mm,
scary. She's scary.
She's the least fun.
She's the least down to just chill.
Yeah.
mm,
She doesn't have that chill Friday night girly vibe.
no.
No.
It's all brat girl summer from here, boys. It's too late. Can't go back.
Oh no. Well, whatever comes, we're together, and if this is something which has consequences further down the line for you, I'll help any way I can. I promise.
Thanks.
As interested as I am in the repercussions of all of that, um, I think we need to discuss the 120-pound dead druid in the room.
Yeah. What's the plan? What's our best line of attack? I'd very much prefer not to take her entire body with us. Been there, done that. Would really rather not do it again.
I don't know why we didn't just burn her immediately.
If we had some way to get information from her guaranteed, like
Well, we
Roshan
might.
said,
Fenn's
we
gonna
could
Fenn's
at
gonna
some
start
point.
rifling through her bag. Like we
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
even tried that, and
Eh,
we've not gone through her pockets, her belongings, read any of her notes, and we're gonna haul her corpse around with us in a strange dimension.
fair point. Good note. Let's have a look at what she's got.
That is an extremely good note, which it's really funny to me because I play in another game where the still cooling body of an ally, another player's character isn't even off limits for people to loot, and they'll do it in like 30 seconds flat.
Jesus.
Meanwhile, we're over here with a corpse for a good few hours before we decide
Yeah, a
Well, we
where
corpse
got
we're
that we
gonna
inured
deliberately
to
came
it,
here to
see?
make.
Yeah, no,
Like,
no.
yeah.
The thing is, ironically, that's what happened with the other corpse we had to lug around too. We just didn't know it beforehand.
You got a point.
far be it from us to learn from our from our mistakes.
No, yeah, no. We learned nothing. Brat girl summer all the way.
Oh, No, no, no. Go back. One more time. One more time. Okay. All right, you go over to her and begin to check out the body. It seems that she has a very nice set of padded armor that she's currently wearing, though it looks to be damaged. Um, it looks like multiple vines have like gone through it, and like you can see that lines up with like damage on her body as well, as if the entity that she was consumed by was actively doing something, piercing the skin, ripping at the armor.
Rooting
Uh,
in
Any
her.
identifiable markings, signets, or sigils or anything on the armor at all?
it looks to be themed around nature. You can see that there is plant imagery on it, but besides that, there's nothing else of note. You look at her staff. Um, it is a sort of gnarled wooden staff of mid-tone wood that at the top sort of kind of flays out like the beginnings of the tops of a tree, with bits of green looking like they're about to grow forth from it. If you go into her bag, um, you can see, like, as you're moving her around, also on her hand, she has a silver ring with runes across it. It goes across two of her fingers. Um, Inside of her bag, she has a wand, a golden wand that has like little gems set in it of different colors. Uh, there's also a rod inside that has like a golden head at the top of it. Uh, you also find about 1,355 gold pieces, an expensive looking crystal ball, a diamond worth 300 gold pieces, you hope. Um, you can only hope and pray, fingers crossed. A worn mask made of bark, and what looks to be a very old corn husk doll. Maybe some rations.
Anything in her pockets? Any literature, notes, scrolls, maps?
Doesn't seem to be a person of literature.
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Very druid of her.
Well, Roshan, I don't want to put you to work immediately in the this beautiful sanctum you've built us, but if we've got all day before everyone can get their full rest, maybe we start going through these items. If there's any way I can help you catalog them.
Um, some. How about you just make sure my teacup is filled, and Roshan will bring the four obvious. Oh well, I guess he's got plenty of level one spell slots. He'll detect magic. Is it just the four that are magical?
You detect magic. Only the ring, the staff, the wand, and the rod are magical.
Okay. Then he will take those to his desk and start cataloging them in his journal with the identify spell.
Okay. Anybody doing anything else during this time?
Fenn's playing cupbearer.
Mm.
Keld's putting about in the kitchen that looks like his home kitchen. I think he manages to find ingredients to make a snack his mom used to make a lot.
Next, we'll help
So,
you find the ingredients and stay away from the stove.
yes,
Since she's
good.
not supposed to be there.
I
Don't
feel
touch the
like
stove.
if Nana feels as though Fen and Roshan sort of like have a good lock on a rhythm, if they don't seem like they'll benefit from her being there, she may kind of like go and hang out in the Demwoods house and
Nice.
help cook treats because
Keld will put you to work.
that's something that she's much more adept at helping with than studying magical objects.
Fair, yeah. I'd rather make cookies.
I'd rather stress bake, baby.
Yeah. So everybody gets a D8 of hit points
If
Ooh,
they eat their snack.
if they eat their snack.
a
If
D8
you
of
want to
snack.
eat your snack.
A D8 of snack.
We're literally having tea time now. We have to eat our snack, right?
Mm.
Those are the rules.
I mean, like,
Exactly.
those are the rules. Now, does that go into
And that's temp HP, right?
or
No,
no healing?
that one's regular. It's the other thing. He has another
Nice.
chef feat that is temporary HP.
Got it. This one is the Healy thing. Okay. Nana will just scarf this in the heat of battle later.
Hmm.
Just like any
Okay.
good video game protagonist.
Fen
should.
already.
Mm. Okay.
Fen is welcome to eat his, so long as he then doesn't accuse somebody else of eating his after biting his hand.
Mm.
Sorry, SpongeBob
All right.
reference.
People go about making food and pouring tea and observing items. Firstly, there is the ring. It is the ring of spell turning. So if you are targeted by a spell that only targets you, you have advantage. Um, if you roll a 20 for the save, I believe the spell, if it's 7th level or lower, does not affect you and instead targets the caster. Um, there is her staff, which is the Staff of the Woodlands, allows you to cast many a druid or ranger spell, mostly druid shenanigans from this
Natch.
staff in general, including, I believe, growing a tree.
Is it just
There
the
is,
one varietal?
who knows?
Hmm.
There is also the Rod of Alertness. Um, while holding the rod, you have advantage on perception check and rolls for initiative. You also get some spells. You get a fancy protective aura for things. Um, and then there is the Wand of Wonder, which has 7 charges in it, and a spell will happen.
By golly, will magic happen?
Something will happen.
You should try testing him out on the magic on the practice dummies in the ranger quarters.
Yeah, somebody go use it.
Oh boy. Hang on. Are those rechargeable charges?
Yeah. Next
Oh,
day.
okay.
I
You are
believe
worried about
also
what they
all of
would do.
these are attunement.
Of course.
Yes.
Gotta juggle around our attunement slots, guys.
Well, firstly, Keld, take the diamonds.
Yep, that's flat.
He will do that.
I'm
Did we
assuming the gold
decide what
goes
we
into the
think's
horticulture.
best?
Hmm?
Did we
For her?
decide what we think's best to do with her?
Well, unfortunately, I don't think we gained any information from anything we found on her. Unless there's something deeper that we're missing. She doesn't seem to keep very good notes.
Which means it's all in her head, which means either we hope to goodness we can persuade that out of her if we bring her back, or find somebody who can persuade the dead.
We could always wait to make a decision on her on if I can find Sunny tomorrow.
Good point, yeah.
Where are we meant to keep her while we're traveling, finding Sunny, exactly?
Question.
Mist, might I have a blanket?
Bam, blank.
Fold
Put it over
neatly.
her corpse so we don't have to look at it.
Perfect. One problem solved.
I hate that it sounds so grim, but a cleric would, I think, only need her head to talk to. And if there is no other attachment to the body, I think we should give it a send off, perhaps after we've had a rest.
Do we know a cleric who can do this sort of magic?
Surely there's somebody we could ask between, I don't know, any of your contacts, Roshan, or anybody that Russ may know, possibly.
I mean, the only people that I knew could do it are dead or probably still comatose.
What about Lafayette?
Maybe.
I mean, definitely an option, as much as I don't want to go back there.
We would need something to
No,
bargain with.
nor do I, but literally the only person I can think of that might be able to do this.
Yeah. Unless we happen to get
And
very lucky and Tordrick happens to be awake if we send to him.
yeah,
Either way, I don't think we can speak to anyone, and any one of them, can we? Roshan, from where we are?
Now? Probably not.
I could try it with
Um,
my stone and see if it works to reach out to Russ
It's worth a shot.
Suppose it's worth a try, right?
versus
Yeah.
using your magic to test it.
yeah, and I'm sure he'd love to hear from you anyway.
I hope
Nix,
it'll
go
work.
ahead and roll me a d20.
Sure. That's a 15.
Okay. What does your message say?
Let's see. Hi, we made it to the other plane. I didn't die. We killed one of the cultists. I miss you. That's it.
A moment passes. I think it's only funny if I get to roll it on both sides. I think
Okay.
it's only fair that
It's
both get
funny
to
that
roll.
way.
All right.
If you
Okay.
can send
Yeah.
and receive.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Come on, Russ. True to form.
Okay.
Come on.
You sound crazy. Like his voice sounds like
It's stretched
extended
out.
and like
Oh my
warbled. I'm glad you're not dead. Currently, also not dead. Come back soon. I love you. And then it eventually just cuts off really hard.
Perfect.
So it works, but it sounds very strange.
Well,
On
that's
both sides, apparently.
weird, but good that it works.
Yeah. Maybe not
Could-
always works, since it was really weird, but worked
Do
for
you-
me.
Do you let's try exhausting a few other options, I guess, first. But if you feel up to using another use of your stone today to ask him if he
Oh, it
happens to know
only
any
does
clerics,
one
would be.
a
Oh, it's only
day.
one.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Tomorrow then.
So it sounds like things concerning her could probably wait. I think we've got some other priorities
Yeah,
that we
but
might be
if
able to
nothing
focus on.
else, yeah, I think
She didn't
I
have a
hate
tuning
to be
fork on
morbid, but
her.
she did not, which means either Sunny's got it, which would have been very tactical of Alvilda to get Sunny out of our reach in order to protect that, if that was part of the purpose. But maybe we can.
And I think I don't know that Sunny has access to magics enough to use a tuning fork.
Which means either she's stuck here or she's got another way back.
Perhaps.
They must have planned, surely, for something like this to happen. Teams to be separated, whatnot. They seem organized enough.
Right.
What worries me, though, is what were they doing here?
I know.
What were they getting away from? What were they finding?
I don't know. We could try tracking where they were coming from. We know what direction the monsters were chasing them from. We could try looking back that way. I don't know what else we've got to do
Well,
today.
if she sent Sunny somewhere here, then it would be somewhere that they've been. So I'm assuming if we are able to follow Sunny's trail, that we'll be closer to where they began than here.
I would expect. I mean,
wherever
that
here
all.
is.
Yeah. I mean, if we're very lucky, if we could follow the big stomping monsters' tracks back far enough to wherever it encountered them, maybe that was wherever they were trying to do whatever that was they were trying to do here. Be easier to follow those big tracks than anything those two would have left.
You guys could probably do some tracking.
It's not a terrible idea.
We've got not a lot else we can do with the daylight at the moment, and there's still a fair bit left, so.
We can
Well,
try, but I don't think we should wander too far,
No,
unless we're
I
sure
don't
that
think
we're
so.
onto something.
Right.
I think largely you and I, Nana, are intact. I'm a bit exhausted, but feeling fine as far as any injuries.
I've rested up pretty well, I think. I'm not all the way back to basic, but I'm okay. I'll be plenty well enough to do some scouting.
I'm not much of a scout, but I suppose I can give you a sending just in case you run into trouble.
I think that'd be wise. Yeah, I don't fancy us being separated from each other without some means of notifying one another of misfortune.
All right. Roshan will cast a 4th level sending into the Ring of Spell Storing, and say, I know you've got an impeccable sense of direction, but this is not home.
Right.
Don't get lost out there.
We'll be following obvious leads, I hope, and not traveling too far off of what I hope to be a very obvious and very beaten path. So, with luck, shouldn't be a difficult ask. If nothing else, if we're far enough afield, then we'll make our way back to recognizable landmarks.
Would it help if I
Best of
go
luck.
out with you and fly up to try and see if I can vaguely match this to somewhere back home? Because we
Might not
know
be a
that they
bad
were by
idea.
that, like, the cliff
True.
edge before.
You know, that's right.
Well,
I've got a map.
that's
We can maybe figure that out. Okay.
that is fine with me. Can track on the ground while you track from above. You can watch out for us, but just be mindful of what else might be up there.
Yeah.
I'm
there's
thinking a
anything that can
smaller
fly.
bird so things don't see me as easily.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Everyone
sense.
fine with where they are, where they're going to be, what they hope to accomplish, even if it's just resting up.
Resting's good to do, honestly.
Yeah, just again, please be careful.
We'll be keeping our heads on a swivel, I promise you that. We'll get back.
No, why don't you take this? And he'll give her the rod of the the rod that we just
Rod
got.
of alertness.
What's that?
Rod of alertness.
Yes.
Okay, Rod of Alertness. Should I give you the Ring of Spell Storing then, or
If it requires attunement, I can
it
fit it.
does?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. Yes, it was the Rod of. Is that a look upable item I can just pop in my
I would
inventory?
assume yes.
Cool, cool, cool.
Would be my assumption.
I would hope so. Rod of Alertness.
You can look it up. I'm struggling to add them to my inventory for some reason.
Mm,
But
Hmm.
they are on D&D Beyond.
yeah. That makes me feel better because I was struggling with trying to like make items be part of my inventory the other day. So maybe it's an issue with D&D Beyond that they need to figure out.
Maybe.
My guess is I think most of them have the legacy tag. So
would
it might be
think, yeah.
because D&D is
Yeah.
moving on to 2024 and hiding all of our features.
Mm.
It'd be like that.
Mm-hmm.
So Nyx, Fen, and Nana make their way outside, and you immediately, like, when you get outside, there is like no sign of this place. It is non-existent.
Hmm.
The
But
second the
make a
door closes
sign.
behind you.
Yeah, Nana will find, like, not one of the two trees that actually makes up the doorway, just on the off chance that marking those trees will fuck up the doorway, but a tree, like, adjacent to that. She'll make a mark that she and Fen, I think, have maybe workshopped to be like, look over here, doofus, and a little arrow pointing towards the two trees.
Sure. I'd love to turn the focus back inside for a moment, where Roshan and Keld and Alvilda are. As your friends go out to seek information that, yeah, it's right there on the floor. The info's right there. But they head out. Is there anything you guys are doing?
I think I just imagine them both just kind of standing there staring at the corpse. And Roshan says, "Is it weird to ask the the house to take care of it?"
I mean, can't be any weirder than having this house.
Fair. Should I keep her intact for now, or should I?
I don't think we should do anything to the body right now.
Okay. Good idea. And then Roshan will look toward the mist, which is never too far away, and say, uh, "Could somebody uh, wrap her up?" And a hand, like Roshan's shadowy mage hand, pulls like a ribbon of bandage cloth that just keeps coming out, and several more hands join in, and they wrap her into a much more pleasant to look at, like, mummy.
Mm, mm, mm. She's neat and tidy.
Yes.
Okay. So the three of you stomp off to go see if you can find any information. Um, and somebody is welcome to give me survival with advantage, or everyone's welcome to roll me survival. Up to y'all.
I can take that.
Yeah, go ahead, because I think mine's only. I don't think my survival's going to top yours, if I'm being honest.
26.
Okay. Very easy to get back where you came from. And you can tell the direction that the T-Rexes came from and the direction Sunny came from, the direction she was heading. The tree that was scarred by the usage of opening a door through it. Um, where are you going?
Up in the air. Start looking.
Yeah. See if we can map this onto a place that we recognize.
I turn into my nightmare owl.
Oh, yeah, the
All right.
patoo.
The Patu takes to the air. um,
Her eyes always
Nyx.
concern me just a little bit when she turns into that one.
Oh,
No comment.
It's a beautiful bird.
It
You
is.
appreciate this beautiful bird that you get to
I
see.
do. I do so much.
How about this is a stretch, but it's what I'm going with based on having to remember the map, as you cannot wield a map as a bird. And you are now going off memory, and that is intelligence based. This will be a history check.
Nice.
This is my my steps to that.
Weird. Bird does not give me any advantage on history check.
Weird. And are you polymorphing into a bird, or are
No,
you
wild shape.
okay? Because that would have been funnier, and I would have been like, "Don't roll," because that's very funny, and and nothing would have been good.
I'm just a
This
bird
bird's like,
flying around.
"Hell yeah!"
That's all right. -1, so 15.
Okay. So this is a part of the continent you've never been to comparatively. So first off, you have no personal experience in this area. You have experience to the east of this area, but not like near the ledge itself. From your perspective, now go ahead and give me a perception check.
Bird does get advantage on perception,
Very cool.
which is useful considering what that first one was. 16, 26.
Okay. So at your current vantage point, I think it could be because of the sea of trees. And then you go too high and you're like, well, now it's just fire, smoke, and mist. And then higher than that, you start having a problem. But at this vantage, currently, you can't see like the ledge. You don't seem to be close enough to the ledge to see it. Um, to pinpoint it to a specific spot on the map is proving difficult. As yes, you were presented with the bird's eye view with a map of it, but it's just a sea of trees. There's not any like particular landmark that's standing out to you. Like you're not close enough to the ledge, you're not close enough to the hammer or the towns surrounding it. You don't see any structures that look like towns to you or anything like that. So you can assume that you're probably up in the forest area
Yeah.
above like Jarlsbeck, like a good bit up from there and like to the west. But you're like it's a bunch of trees. But you
How close or how far is that area to the Garden of Eden on our side?
the Forest of Eden is more to the east, not incredibly far. They are pretty close to each other, but not like
The
not
farthest.
yeah, I'm not looking at like
Okay.
a map. but they are semi-separate, at least in theory.
Okay.
It's kind of like that forest that we were in before the big clearing to hit the forest, but
Yeah, it's
different side of it.
yeah. It's like
Nice.
not the whole expanse of that thing is a nightmare,
Mm.
probably.
Mhm.
Um, and you don't even know if it'd be weird here. So you could be like, I could be in the Forest of Eden right now. It
Yeah.
just so basically all northern forest, you're probably somewhere around there. So that's all up for grabs.
Hmm.
Um, but you start flying around. What are we doing on the ground?
My thinking was uh to track back from the scorch mark, following the treads of the T-Rexes, or the one T-Rex at least that was making a beeline at Sunny when we arrived, and was chasing her in a pretty straight line. Nana's hunch is that that straight line will maybe lead us at least close-ish to where Alvilda and Sunny were doing what they were doing.
Yeah, it would make sense that we could tell by the length of this stride when the T Rex started running, implying that's when it started pursuing, meaning that's when it saw them.
Bingo.
Yeah. You begin making your way forward. Nyx, at this time, you're like, I don't know where they are. And you're just
Mm.
flying through the air. You're like,
Hmm.
they're somewhere down there.
Well, bird up
Um,
above.
it's a forest. I can't see
Mm.
you the whole time. And I'm also looking
Mm.
around and doing shit.
Yeah.
Um, you guys begin making your way forward. You go about, I'd say, half a mile following these tracks, and you find a space where it looks like two large bodies had been like lounging.
Oh, interesting. Oh, so
So you
this had been
find
like a
a,
hangout or a lair or a
a bit of a
nest.
nest scenario. Um,
Oh no, they were roommates.
um, and then got up and started pursuit.
Okay.
Sunny's footsteps do keep going back. You're welcome to continue following those.
If we've got a
Um,
good bit of daylight, I think we should as far as we can.
I gotta ask, are there eggs?
there are no eggs.
Oh, good, they were roommates.
It solves a
Yeah,
moral
they were just
quandary.
friends. They were just friends.
Yeah, no, history will say they were roommates.
We already know they were both guys. We already
Yeah,
talked about it
They sat
when I was
5 feet apart in the hot tub
no.
because
that's
they're not
true.
gay.
Yeah.
Also, I think I technically killed both of them.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think it
I
was the Titan on both occasions. I
it
think.
was the Titan. Yes, it was the Titan on both occasions. Um, so it was me. So
No, no,
no
no.
worries, no skin off your teeth.
Hooray!
But uh, you guys can push forward. You go about another 10 yards, and the feet start from a tree.
Fuck.
You
Yeah,
can see
fine.
the mark on it as
Yeah.
if it had been torn open. They came through, started running, accidentally ran into a nest of T-Rex, and
Mm.
accidentally stumbled into a T-Rex nest, and then just
Okay.
kind of kept running.
All right.
only
In
two
that
sets of
case,
only two sets of footprints leaving the tree.
Yes, you see two sets of footprints, and then it turns into one.
Oh, that's where Jesus came. Okay.
Yeah.
right, right.
Alvilda ascended, or
She,
descended. You
something.
can see there is some like marking on the ground. It looks like that is when she probably turned into the earth elemental and went into the ground and started moving.
Okay. All right. I'm I'm going out on a limb here. I'm assuming there isn't very much we can glean from just observing the tree, the scar that was left behind. I'm assuming there's nothing here that looks like sigils, that looks like runes, that looks like anything we could like note down and replicate and show to anybody that would mean anything.
No.
Okay.
What kind of tree is it?
It is, you're still in that area with the white bark and purple leaves.
So these are the native trees.
Yes. This still part of this forest where these trees look like this.
Okay. Well, all right. In that case, I'd like to have a look at where they were trying to run when they ran into the T Rexes and at least get an idea of what direction they were trying to head. Because they took off running as soon as they got out of there. They were heading somewhere specific.
That's another great idea. Let's not get too far from where Nix might be able to find us, and keep our heads respectively on a swivel.
Exactly,
If
yes.
you want to, if you want to look around, I'll keep my eyes to the ground and try to follow whatever path I might have been taking.
Sure.
Okay. Nana, you can give me perception. Fen, you can give me survival. Nyx, give me perception.
Yes. Oh,
Are you guys stealthing at all?
Yeah, no reason to move fast.
Yeah. I feel like this is
Okay.
probably
Also
a...
roll stealth.
Yeah, will do. My perception is 18 on the dice plus 14, 32.
Mm-hmm.
Stealth, less impressive, 19.
Survival is a 31, and my stealth, unfortunately, is a 15, which means it was a natural one.
Damn, bud.
Good to know. Thank you. Nyx, what did you get on your perception check?
Only 15.
Well, lucky you. You were able to see Fen.
That's good.
Watching Fen like stealth really badly. He's just like, this is
He's doing
working
it on
out for
purpose
me.
so that Nyx can find us.
That's an assumption Nyx could make.
That was really smart
He's
of him.
sticking to where I can see him through the trees. Useful.
Very smart.
But you guys progress forward. Nyx, you're able to be like, well, they stopped here and turned back and are welcome to like about
Loop
face
around.
and pursue. You guys make it back to where Sunny's footsteps stop.
Okay.
And you would just like to progress in that direction?
At least see if there's anything that looks obvious or close by enough that we could reasonably reach before it seems like a long stretch. Like,
I
we
mean,
don't want to
from
get too
your
far off
current
the
vantage,
path.
you just see trees.
Yeah. I guess then maybe try and signal down Nyx and see whether or not she can spot anything off in...
I mean, they've been basically since they left the tree heading in a straight line, right?
Yeah.
So they had a pretty good idea, at least in their minds, of where they were going. There's no reason we shouldn't assume that at least the next point is in a straight line from here. Like
Yeah.
maybe there's a landmark that they're looking for that's going to tell them where to turn, but like that's as far as we can go anyways. So
Right.
imagine I said that in Fen's voice because I
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
talking
no,
That
out of
I
makes
heard
sense.
character.
I heard
Nah,
it.
yeah, it's cool. But I can see Fen making that same connection.
I mean, here's my question. How long are you guys willing to do this?
Where are we at with daylight?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. It's
We
what?
got
You
a fair
guys
bit
took an
still.
hour, and then you probably took like 20 minutes to find the spot, and then you took probably 20 to come back, so we're around 2 hours. And then you started doing some looky-looing, so we're probably closer to the 3 hours. So it's like a little past noon.
Damn. Yeah, we got at
Yeah,
least 4 or 5 hours of full daylight. Assuming this place has a similar daylight cycle to winter back home. I don't know.
yeah, let's walk for 2 hours, and if we don't find what we're looking for, we'll turn around.
If nothing else, if we don't see anything within an hour, maybe it's wiser to like flag Nyx down after the hour is done. Have her like fly up as far as she can to see if there's a landmark still further down along our trajectory, but maybe like further than would be reasonable for us to walk.
Once again, Nama, I think you're full of good ideas.
Well,
You
I
know,
appreciate it.
direction wise, which way they're headed? Like this straight line? Is it
It's
west?
more it's south, a bit southwest.
Southwest. Yeah.
Southwest-ish. South-southwest.
Hmm.
Okay.
Uh you guys start going, about an hour passes.
Okay.
You flag Nyx down. Nyx are just waving at you in the sky.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll fly
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. So we kind of like explain like what we found. They came out of a tree. We don't know where from before that, but we think that somewhere in a straight line this way is either going to be what the cultists were after or a waypoint. Have you seen anything further along in this trajectory? Anything further out that way?
She's still in a bird form, so
She could maybe like shake her head or nod.
ridiculous
Bird
bird head.
stares at you with
Nah.
these big black eyes.
Mhm.
Slightly unnerving, it's fine.
Like,
Uh,
I'll fly up and do another check to see if there's anything visible
I,
now that we've gone further.
I feel like maybe Nana would have also like asked Nyx like about where she thought we were. So I'm assuming Nyx told us about how we're maybe.
I was
No,
a
she's
Can't
in
tell
bird.
bird
you
form. Never
anything.
mind. She can't
I'm
tell me
telling
shit.
you
Never
nothing.
mind.
You
I
can't
think
make me talk.
that's true. That's true. It's fine. If she can fly up and get
I mean,
a
if
bead
you want
on
to give me a
something
spell
visibly,
slot for it, and somebody has speak with animals, but of course you can talk to Nyx.
I used to.
But if you don't have the spell slot,
I
no
used to
cigar.
have spell slots.
A shame
I
and a
have spell
pity.
slots, but I don't have speak with animals. You have speak with animals, but you don't have spell slots.
Nyx
We
takes
did.
to the sky.
Yep.
Nyx, are you going to just do like a looky loo, or are you gonna go ahead and start kind of covering some ground?
I think we should go ahead a bit, just because if there's nothing super visible right where they currently are, it'd probably be better to get closer to what they think we should see.
Yeah, currently, like without even needing a perception check, it's not like you're seeing some fancy tree or big arrow or like
There's no
smokestack.
tower
No
coming out of
towering
this.
No.
spire.
Oh,
No.
Huh.
guys, I didn't tell you about the eye hovering in the sky right
Oh
there. My bad.
God.
Oh, sorry.
It's been visible this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh, but Nyx, you start making your way ahead. You can go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. That's 29.
Oh.
Okay, how long are
Nice,
you
nice.
willing to fly for?
You know, she'd probably go another hour. She thinks she's got all day. They didn't give her a timeline in this update.
Probably true. In which case, I mean, if she doesn't come back in like 10 minutes, we can be like, she's probably flying ahead along the same line we pointed. We
You
can
saw her
probably.
zoom away.
Yeah,
from
we
her.
we can probably keep
I
walking
was
the same
sent on a
direction.
mission.
It's true.
Okay. Nyx, you go ahead in about a 10-minute gap. The other two are like, and us, and like somersault
Mm-hmm.
behind trees and start making their way
Hoo
forward.
ha, hoo ha.
Just nothing is catching your attention in the way you want it to, right? You're like, when someone's so like precise and evil, you expect to see something precise and evil, right? Like that's what you want to see because it makes sense. And God, it's apparent. And you'd love it if it was just so simple and straightforward like that. Like a big evil tree, but no cigar in that sense. You fly for an hour. And just as you're in a scenario where you're like, do I head back or do I keep going? Something does catch your eye. Nothing obvious, no nasty tree, no big sign that says like Bosch was here. Um, but you
Not his spray
see,
paint tag.
yeah, you guys know. He's the next Banksy. Um but you do see something like you catch it between like a little bit of a gap between two trees on the ground. There's something on the ground that catches your eyes because it's the first thing that you've seen that isn't like natural. Like it looks like two tones of tan, looks to be like maybe the length of an arm and is just like on the ground. From where you are, even with that very high roll, you could see it. You could not tell what it is from here.
Hmm. Weird.
Okay. Sure.
Hmm.
Get closer. Not gonna fly all the way down because
Mm.
she's learned that touching certain things does get her killed sometimes.
We do sometimes learn from our
Sometimes.
mistakes. On occasion.
How close are you getting?
Still above the trees.
Okay. With a 29, it looks
Piercing
like a
bird eyes.
scroll.
Oh.
Just don't read it.
Read
Can
If I
she as a
just-
bird?
This is Jillian's picnic basket of supple hide.
God damn it, it is.
Guys,
Is this the picnic basket? I'll go get the scroll right now.
please,
no.
why don't you guys go check out my sweet picnic basket?
Because
It was
picnic
right
basket in the
there.
ocean.
You're right.
It was like 10 feet away from the bubble.
It's true. Wow.
Alas.
Well.
I guess I have to get closer and snatch up said scroll as a bird and take it back to my friends.
Yeah. You scoop down. The way it is, 'cause I'm just off this 29 and give you the world. Um, everybody else is seeing like so detailed the trees around them. You guys had amazing rolls. You're making your way forward so expertly. You see everything, but also there's just nothing to see.
It's trees. It's trees and
This is
trees
like-
and
This
trees.
is the forest.
Mhm. You get to see
more
some
forest.
strange creatures, but none of them seem like dangerous. You see like different types of birds that like mirror like birds you've seen before. Like you see like a crow sitting up on a branch, and it like sees you, gets startled, unfurls its feathers, and it like expands almost like a peacock and just begins like hopping away from branches and like moving up higher and away. Um, and different types of very loud bugs. And there's like one that keeps just like it looks like a big stick bug, like the size of a hand, just keeps like slapping like onto your face, and you keep like moving it and putting it, and you're like, either this one stick bug is invested, or there's so many of this stick bug, and unclear. It's beautiful, like this beautiful white bark stick bug that matches in with the trees, but
It's very pretty.
it seems pretty dumb to think it is camouflaged on you, but it's doing
True.
its best.
It is. It's trying very hard.
Nix, you land and get your. It's a little bit of a struggle for the Patu. The Patu's like, okay, hold on.
All right, buddy.
You're expanding your talons as far as you can, and you kind of have to like. You do have to like nuzzle it with your beak to unscroll it a bit so you can grab it a little easier. So you're now would just be flying with this scroll like wisping behind you.
Very
What you
picturesque.
yeah, what you do see, because the 29, why not?
The 29.
You can see on a tree, about like if you're like looking at the scroll, it's like next to a tree, and if you turn around as you're like unfurling this thing, you see another tree, and it looks like a sword was slammed against this tree again and again and again and again and again. But not the one the scroll's next to. And you pick it up and you take to the sky. You guys watch as a messenger bird flies a messenger Patu, makes its way over, and has a scroll.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
I'll
All
hand that to
right.
one of them.
Fantastic. Good find. What have we got? Is it a spell-y scroll, or is it a scroll with a letter on it?
Oh, you could roll Arcana for me.
I'm real good at that. Well, I mean, probably not going to be nothing. But I'm just going to see what I have. Yeah, it's a +0, and that's a 9 on the dice. So,
Oh, it's a scroll, certainly.
It's a scroll. Looks like magic-y writing.
Is Nyx a people again? Or is she still bird?
She's got to be a bird in case you send her off to do more exploring.
She's still a
It's true.
bird.
It's true. It's true.
All right, let's add it to the collection. We should decide now if we want to continue on or head back for the others.
Nyx, was there anything else there that would be good for us to bring? Or to see?
And she didn't see any other stuff, just the destroyed tree.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think anyone else needs to see the tree.
Mm-hmm. She'll be able to tell us about it
Yeah.
when she's a people again.
Hey, just no,
Shakes
nothing
the
else
head.
necessary to see. So no.
Okay.
The Patu shakes its head.
Well,
Probably like a 180 of
Too
head,
much.
like all the way.
Too much.
Yeah.
Big mouth agape as it slowly spins.
It's a beautiful creature of nature. I love it.
It screams. It's just involuntary.
All right. Well, I suppose I don't necessarily want to blow the sending just to say all's okay and we're coming back, but I don't know. Do you think there's really much else that we can gain out here if this seemed to be what they were heading for?
I think we're either going to march on and not make it back to them by nightfall, which
Seems ill-advised.
not the end of the world, but that just puts more distance between us and them. They'll have a harder time catching up.
Right.
Or we just start making our way back. We've got no idea what's out here, especially at night.
Right.
I'll be a people again.
Yeah.
I think we should go back.
All right. Yeah.
Because the easiest way to get that to where we are now is with me with them.
Mm-hmm.
What was the context of this scroll? What else did you...
There's a destroyed tree next to it. My guess is either they've probably Sunny was there and destroyed that tree. That's my guess.
Could that have
That's the
been
direction
where
they were
Alvilda
heading,
sent
not-
her after the
Maybe.
battle?
Possibly.
If that was somewhere they were trying to get to initially, maybe it was, I don't know,
Or that
a
they've been
camp.
before. I don't know.
Right. Somewhere that she could have recognized the tree. Somewhere she could have shunted Sunny in a last moment effort to get her out of harm's way. So, maybe.
Which is why I don't think we alone should try to be here. I don't.
Yeah.
Normally, I would be okay with it. I don't feel like I'm at a place where I could face her. Sadly, I'd love to.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. So, let's head back, let's regroup, and let's figure out what else we can learn from this. There was nothing else left there?
Nope.
Besides
Just the
this?
scroll. And I have no idea where we are. I was up there alone. Somewhere with a lot of trees. Probably northeast.
Maybe close to the Orchard of Eden, then.
Possibly.
Okay, so
Didn't
what
see
would
the
be
cliff anywhere, or the hammer, or any towns. So.
pretty deep out in the wilderness, then.
Yes. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's make our way back. Yes, agreed.
Easy enough. You have 2 rangers. Even if this isn't your preferred terrain, you all can easily start to find your way back. Roshan and Kel, you guys have multiple hours.
Yeah.
Is there
What are you
anything you guys want to
doing?
do?
Manicures? Pedicures?
No, Roshan is just awkward, and maybe he goes and sits under the other tree that's not already got a corpse at it and writes in his journal.
I think whenever Roshan starts journaling or whatever, Keld will wander back into the dim woods house and just exist there and feel a little nostalgic, but also a little sad? Question mark.
Okay.
No plans.
A few hours pass, and So Roshan, if they bonk at it long enough, are they able to find the doorknob, or do you have to like let them in? And if it doesn't say, I'll leave it to you, because that means, you know.
So I think it shows up for them.
Okay.
Oh, I guess no. While closed, the portal is invisible. So
Yeah.
I think if we don't
Sending knock
recognize
knock.
that they're there, then a physical knock at the precise location would be enough to let us know. Otherwise, ascending will absolutely do.
Yeah, I think you hear some hands tapping at the door like, "Okay, there's a door here. There's something going on here."
I can't find the knob, guys. Where
Is
was
this
it?
stone? This is the stone arch. Hold on, hold on. The knob was like free floating. Like just hands
Maybe it
trying to find it.
moves.
And yeah, it becomes visible as soon as the knob is turned from the inside, and Roshan lets you in.
All right, everyone's back.
Look what we found. Finn just shoves the scroll into Roshan's
We
chest.
can't read it.
Oh, concerning. Roshan will bring it over to the desk and unfurl it, and yeah, I'm sure he'll just read it. When
Okay.
has reading anything just hurt a person?
Yeah. Poof.
You ever heard of
Confetti
Atlas
head.
Shrugs?
Roshan, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Ooh, that is a nat 20, so 35.
Nice. So I will repaint the scene for you, Nyx, and then I will tell Roshan what he is holding. Nyx, in the space, there is this scroll left on the ground. It was not placed there gingerly. It seemed to have been like dropped. That is your assumption of it. Your detective Patu brain is like this wasn't placed. It was thrown.
Yeah.
So
So
this,
actually not like the basket, guys. This was not
yeah,
left for us to go get.
yeah, not the
Mm.
basket.
This was not a trap. It was an accident.
Um, Nearby there is another tree, and it looks like a sword struck this tree many, many, many times. The tree is not felled in any way. It was a solidly thick tree, but it was hit with a sword again and again and again and again. That is apparent. And the scroll is just sort of laid near another tree, kind of more towards a bit of an opening area between the two. Like it's not exactly a place where the trees are super close together. Roshan, you take a look at this and interesting. So this is a modified scroll. Um, And the best thing you could probably equate this to, seeing it now, very cool. It looks like it has like training wheels in it. Like it has, if you were bowling and you put up the edges, like this is a scroll that was made for people who are not as good as maybe the person who made the scroll. This was made to be as helpful to whoever used the scroll as possible. The spell itself is faded and there are only pieces of it, but you are able to sit there for a moment and kind of draw in your own. You're able to just picture it making your way through. It's plane shift. It is a used
Um,
scroll of plane shift.
Nix, you said you found this by a tree with a
Mhm.
bunch of slashes in it.
Well, it was by a
Um,
different tree, and then there was the tree with all the slashes, and this was on the ground, kind of between them, in an opening kind of area.
Do we think Sunny used
So
this?
I'm. That's my guess. It's basically Oh, Roshan doesn't know the training wheels. Training wheels isn't real in here. They just
Well,
invented the
bikes are
bike.
Manual
real.
for
They just
dummies.
made bikes. Bikes just started existing.
We did. Yeah, they only just got invented, guys.
If bikes were easier. Ooh, if only I had a
Oh,
word
if
for
only.
it.
Yes. It seems like this one was made idiot proof and an idiot probably used it. My guess is since there are a bunch of slashes there, it was a very angry idiot. Um, and I'm guessing that our very angry idiot is Sunny and she is no longer here with us.
Damn
I'm
it.
guessing.
Yeah.
But really good eyes to have found
What did
this.
the
You
sword
said
look
you were
like?
gone for so long.
I didn't see a sword. It was just like the slashes in the tree.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If there was a sword, we would have brought us the sword back too.
Absolutely. Any sort of loot
Thought
like
someone
that,
said there was
definitely.
a sword between the trees.
No, a
That's where the
A
scroll.
scroll.
Oh,
scroll.
okay.
Mm.
Well,
So
I'd sure love to take one of Sunny's swords from her.
Mm-hmm.
They look very dangerous.
Extremely. That being said, though, we're not going to find them on this plane today, apparently. Which means we've got at least one runner who's going to make sure that our activities are known and that we can make our way over here. So that's one surprise out. So, what are we going to do?
Guess focus on getting out of here.
That'll be tomorrow. Do we need.
And
Is there anything we can do to prepare between now and then here?
well, we should probably discuss. So we have to make our way back to the tuning fork, correct?
Right. The one that
Okay.
pixie was making a dive for.
So then
Well,
perhaps a pack of pixies we'll have to deal with in the morning.
Fantastic.
you might have to be extra persuasive.
Roshan, are the things that this palace makes real? Can they be taken out of here and used in other contexts?
Um, my guess is no, but uh, Roshan will pick up like an apple from where it sits by the hearth and then open the front door and throw it out. And
Yeah.
as it does, the apple just disappears.
Oh. Ah.
Uh, I think
Huh.
it. I think it will be nourishing to our bodies, but no, we can't. We can't bring meaningful things out of here
Hmm.
other than good times with friends.
Well, if we
Which cannot be
we-
understated.
we know less and little about those fairies or pixies, whatever they were, but they seemed intelligent. Maybe they're
At
things
least
we
enough.
possess that we could use to barter for the.
Did
Mm,
did
if it looks
anyone
shiny
hear them
enough.
speaking?
Fen spoke Sylvan
Sylvan?
at them. Did they seem to understand? Did they say anything back that he understood?
I feel like they talked, didn't they?
You heard, I this is just based on memory. I think you could tell that they were murmuring to each other in Sylvan, but none of them, I think, fully addressed you. You can go back to the archive if you'd
one
like
of
to,
them
but you
asked
can
if
tell
he
that they
wanted
were
to be a
talking.
bird again, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I felt like
They
I
don't
remembered
seem
that happening.
capable of speech.
They
Um,
can speak, and I think I can speak the same language, at least intelligibly enough
Make
to
yourself understood.
communicate. Hopefully, there's no cultural differences that cause us problems. But
Keep things simple. Should be
it's
easy
a,
enough.
it's the language of the woods. It's my mother taught me.
Well, if there's any way that we can at least persuade the pixies to leave the fork be. Maybe something sufficiently shiny. Maybe not need necessarily cost a lot, but a shiny bauble, something.
So when Fen says that his mother taught him Sylvan, I think Roshan just quietly opens his journal and scribbles a note that says, "Ask Shelvadiro about waterfall?" Question mark.
Hmm. I don't think it's a bad idea to try some diplomacy with them if we can. They at least seemed willing to hold off on doing us immediate harm when we addressed them. At least they seem intelligent enough to be curious to communicate. We can take advantage of that, perhaps.
Well, we don't want to insult them.
No.
I think I can communicate with them. But again, it's a made-up language that my mother taught me that was ancient, and I'm not sure I can communicate well. I would say we take stock of what we have and think about the things that we are not willing to barter, regardless of value, and consider that if they ask for some other item, we should be willing to part with it, because if we're stuck here, we do no good.
Yeah.
Roshan will hold up the wand of wonder and says, "This is really pretty.
Hmm.
I mean, pretty in like a. It looks like it's made out of candy. So I don't know if they like a sense of whimsy, then maybe they'll like this.
Could well.
Although I just hope they don't immediately use it on us, because I would not put that past them either."
No, but we can at least hope that they won't know how to use it right off the bat.
We. This goes against a lot of better judgment I might have. If they're into whimsy, we could offer to bring them back with us for a bit of sightseeing.
Would they want to go back?
We could offer as a show of good faith. Just a thought.
Let's chew on it. Let's chew on it.
Okay, so before we get some rest, we should probably decide on a plan for tomorrow. I am not certain that Sunny has gone home. It is just a thought. Um, do you still want to try scrying on her, or do you think our first order of business should be getting home?
Hmm.
I think if Sonny came home, it was probably with a vengeance.
Yeah, likely. I don't know. It seems most likely if this is the scroll that looks like perhaps it was, I don't know, dropped as it was being used or was cast aside carelessly once it was no longer needed. It, I don't know, a plane shift spell sounds rather firmly to me as though it aims to get somebody off this realm and to another. Maybe back home, maybe elsewhere. Who knows how many keys they've got. But
I mean, would
Does it,
we could try scrying just for some sort of confirmation, but
mm, then it's a matter of, do we feel like that's a worthwhile use of the spell slot while we're on this side of the veil?
right.
I
What
suppose that is up to you, Nix. Do you think you'll have enough juice to scry on Sunny and get us home?
I think I'd be able to. But
Would you be able to do much else of that caliber afterwards?
so I'd be able to scry on some, just like today. I can scry on somebody once,
Mm-hmm.
use a tree to get us back to where we were yesterday once, and I'd be able to shift planes once.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I could scry again, like
Once
when
we
we were in the
were
other plane,
elsewhere.
but I don't know if it would work since it, like, if it had already failed on her once, I don't know if I'd be able to
Do it
do
in
it
one day.
again.
Uh,
I don't think she's here, based on what we found.
that seems likely to me. I think maybe it's a better idea to hedge our bets, wait on the scry until we've managed to get back over to the other side.
Right.
And then, with
Yeah.
a good scry on her, then hopefully we'll turn up evidence of her on the material plane. Or figure out she's hopped elsewhere. And then what about Alvilda then?
Sounds like we're just taking her head.
It seems like the least conspicuous way to transport what would be needed in order to get information from her.
It'd be really easy just to ask her if we brought her back, like where
Do you
they what
think she
plans
would?
were. I don't
Would
think
she
she'll tell us
actually?
that talk to
That's
us
what I'm
either
asking.
way, but
At least
I'm of the same mind.
Do you think Yarn
Why
might
would she?
to make a talk?
who's Yarn?
Oh, Yarn is
she would.
she was a friend, sort of briefly, and then
Acquaintance, disciple of Hell, goddess of death.
Nana and I showed our craven cowardice, and she left us in shame. But seems like the sort of person that might have mm, some means of communication with the dead, just based on the goddess that she worships.
And a
Do we have
motivation to
means
see
to
Bosch
reach her?
stopped. I mean, I know her face. I could give you a description of her, or I could try sending to her once we're on the same plane.
I think that's a good idea. Um, although if uh, she's not a fan of you, perhaps. Well, I don't know whether somebody else should reach out if you're not on good terms. You
You'd say
could.
we're not on good terms, just that she was a bit ashamed in us and probably herself in not confronting Bosch when we had the opportunity. Maybe bringing the head of a disciple, a lieutenant of Bosch, as it were, um, will show that we're not entirely craven.
Maybe she'll
And if
be
she truly
motivated.
does oppose the cult, then hopefully she'll be willing to chat with us.
She
She
says
was
that
very
their
chatty.
balance is off, though she said the same about us.
Hmm.
Um, she was an interesting character. Rosham, I think you'd get along with her swimmingly.
How much could she
I don't know. I'm
possibly
pretty
know about us?
imbalanced too.
Hmm?
How much could
I
she
said I'm
possibly
pretty
know about us?
imbalanced too.
I'm sorry, Kel, go ahead.
Well, I guess that explains it.
Kel, you had a
So,
question.
he was just asking how would she know about us?
We met her in passing. She traveled with us a bit on the road. Actually, she stalked us for a spell. I jumped out of a rope trick onto her.
We both did.
It's a long story and leads only to further embarrassment.
Well, now I almost want to hear it more.
Fen
Get
will
me drunk
recall the
enough
tale of
eventually.
ambushing Yarn out of a rope trick around the nice warm hearth inside of our little mind palace here.
Mm.
You know, It's a little entertaining.
Mm.
So, do you plan to use your spell slot today to try and sending to Yarn, or are you waiting to use one tomorrow?
I think we're going to leave it in the ring.
Yeah, I don't
We'll
feel
wait till
like
we're
it.
on the same plane.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
there is
There's
a
a chance.
5% chance it'll fail, but
Which
yeah,
is
you'd have to
small.
roll a 1.
Hmm, I don't know.
I don't
We
know.
could
What do you
make an
think?
attempt today.
Sooner might be
It's
better.
not a
Yeah.
resource. It's not a resource that's super limited. So I think if you want to use it tonight, I could cast another one in there and have it still for tomorrow. So use it now if
Alright.
you'd like.
Fen will try his best to cast sending for the first time he's ever done that or anything like it. That wasn't like a immediate response to somebody else. I'm not even sure if anybody's ever sending Fen. Like, but he'll
Maybe
try
not.
to reach out
Couple of us, I'm sure.
with his brain to talk to a person he's met once.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a d20.
Then 9.
Well, not a 1.
It's not a one.
You send this message out. What do you say?
This is Fen. We met. We might have a chance to right our cowardice. Have taken one of the gods' captains. Need help. Talk soon.
There's a pause. And you can imagine the voice is all, ooh, you know? You can imagine it goes, ooh, the whole time.
It's got the
Um,
wah wah pedal on.
Where do I meet you? Keep the body safe. I need to see it.
Roshan, I need another charge.
She's willing.
Possibly.
What did she say? And then Roshan will begin casting the spell into the ring.
She asked where to meet me and where to meet us, I suppose. And she needs to see the body and to keep the body safe.
Does that mean intact?
I would assume so, but I'm going to suggest Jarlsbecker. Oh,
Seems
no, she's
sensible.
far from there.
Hmm. Well, suggest Jarlsbecker or closest major town to where she is, perhaps.
It would have taken us days to get to Jarlsbecker from where we met her. It would take
It's
us
not
weeks.
like we know where
Weeks.
she's heading.
Would have
She
been-
was where?
I don't remember the name. Oh,
The
not
name of the
not as
town, hang
far,
on.
not as far as White Ridge or White Cliffs.
It wasn't
or
White Ridge. It was it
She
it
was
in
Hoyerben?
past Hoyerben?
Hoyerben.
Was it in
Yeah,
Hoyerben?
was where we met her and then
Mm-hmm.
marched a day out of town with her. We don't know where she went from there, but it would have been weeks. She'd still be weeks from Jarlsbecker if she were even marching that direction.
I could
Okay.
get us
Well-
to White Ridge or to Falstar if she's not in Hoyerben. Like whichever one she's closest to.
I could present her several options, and she could tell us which is easiest for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of
Whichever's closest,
Um,
and then maybe
give her
meet in the inn.
2 days. Give her 2 days.
yeah,
Meet us
because
there.
I wouldn't be able to get us there tomorrow.
Right.
Or,
Okay.
All right, and well, presuming we make it out of here tomorrow.
yeah.
But
We'll adjust the time if we need to.
all right, Hoyben, White Ridge.
Or
Give a third
Falstar.
option.
Or
Falstar.
Folkstar?
Yeah. Those are the three in that row. At least that Keld and I passed.
Okay.
And Fen will reach back out. Um, White Ridge, Hoyaben, Polestar, meet in 3 days. You choose which. Let us know. Best of luck.
Go ahead and roll a d20.
Come on.
Nat 20.
Okay.
Ooh,
On a thing that I don't think matters very much. If you
there's
said it only
slightly
mattered that it
less
wasn't a nat
wah-wah
1.
pedal on this one.
It's
Slightly.
less warbly, you know.
Just a little bit. It's not enough to be completely gone, but like, it's just a little bit less messed up.
White Ridge. 3 days. See you then.
White Ridge, 3 days.
All right.
Got it.
Okay.
This feels weird. Someone take this ring from me.
Nana will probably pass that along over to Roshan, and he can give it to whoever needs it.
Roshan will hold on to it.
Fen might have needed help getting that off of his finger. Actually, I would not think of it unless he pulled
Good
it off
point.
with his
Like
teeth.
pull it with his
Good
teeth.
point. Good
Just, like,
point. Nana
chewing
would have
at it.
assisted him with that, I think. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else for today? Or if there's a lot of things for today, then fuck you guys.
I mean,
and it's for later.
We have a slumber party planned, actually.
Ah,
we
sweet.
yeah, it's a
We have a
great
lot of
big
RP
slumber
plans,
party.
Jillian.
Yeah.
I'd like to start
Yeah.
now.
It's gonna be a
We're
long
doing-
night.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
a long one. We're settling in for 3 more hours.
Yeah, you know what? For ease, I think I will say after you do your sending,
Uh-huh.
you have the rest of the now evening to yourselves before you begin your plans in the morning, and that is where we will stop for today. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. We love telling you guys a story. If you'd like to keep up with us, we are at the Dice Cold on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to keep up with all of us backwards, Backs of Gods, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you want. Either one, we
Backwards
there.
with gods.
If you want to go to the chat or the box below, you can get some beautiful dice that like to roll nat 20s on
Ridiculous.
so far 2 sending checks, as I also rolled a nat 20 on my sending check.
Amazing.
So if you want that, we got it, and they're all so cute.
Ooh, very pretty.
If you want to see more of this story, you can head over to youtube.com/the Dice Cult and some other fun games. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. Love telling you a story. We'll be here same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks
Night,
for joining
everyone.
us, cultists.